T-Mobile Tuesday Night Baseball from PNC Park in Pittsburgh. The Pirates' 10-game homestand continues. The Buccos say goodbye to June, hello to July, the first of 3 against the Arizona Diamondbacks. The Buccos playing good baseball. They have won 7 of their last 9 games, 8 of their last 11. Of course, you know they just took 3 of 4 over the weekend for the Mets. A day off yesterday, their last day off before the All-Star break. Greg Brown along with Steve Blass. And Steve, this game and this series features 2 of the top players in the National League. Andrew McCutchen, of course, for the Pirates, and Paul Goldschmidt, last year's runner-up in the MVP race.
Yeah, take your pick. I mean, these are 2 of the best. There's a good chance they might finish 1 and 2 again this year. I'll take the guy on the right as my choice. But they've just put together terrific numbers, consistent producers. Now, the one factor, Andrew is hot right now. Goldschmidt is 1 for his last 19. You hope that continues for 3 more games. But if you want to see some real producers, some real good Major League hitters, come on out. It's not too late for this game, and we got 2 more after this.
Our Faro League leaders, those numbers, what they have done since July 1st of last year, 1 year ago. And we talk about Andrew McCutchen. We also talk about Pedro Alvarez. Steve, he's starting to turn it on again.
Yeah, and when Pedro gets hot, he carries a baseball team. When Pedro's hot, you don't have to string 5, 6, 7 hits together in an inning to have a crooked number. And you just got a hold of 1 on Sunday and just turn the ball game upside down. So if Pedro gets hot, and I don't mean hot with base hits, I mean hitting the ball over the fence, he can carry this baseball team for several games at a time.
Pedro Alvarez, Andrew McCutchen, the Pittsburgh Pirates ready to take on the Arizona Diamondbacks in Game 1 of the 3-game series. And Jeff Locke has been indeed locked in lately. He'll oppose lefty Wade Miley coming up Game 1 of 3 next.
Pirates Baseball on Root Sports is brought to you by Toyota. Now's the time to go places with Toyota. Visit buyattoyota.com for special offers. And by PNC Bank. Know where you stand with PNC Total Insight. Let's go Bucks!
Jeff Locke taking the field and heading to the mound. Pirate left-hander has pitched very well since returning to the rotation, making his 6th Pirate start of the season. Gregory Polanco getting the day off against the lefty Wade Miley. Josh Harrison, Mr. Everywhere, Mr. Everything, is out in right field. We take a look at the Honda starting lineup for Kirk Gibson's Diamondbacks. Ender Inciarte is in center field. Martin Prado follows. Then it's Paul Goldschmidt, hitting .365 against lefties this season. Miguel Montero, Aaron Hill, and David Peralta. In the middle of the order, Cody Ross, Nick Ahmed, and Wade Miley. Injury ravaged roster for Arizona.
Jeff Locke making start number 6. He has been terrific. He has given up 8 runs in his last 4 starts. And the stat I just love is the fact in 5 starts he's only walked 4 batters. That enhances everything. And about 5 starts ago, meaning number 1 start, early in that ball game, he found his changeup, and he has been riding it ever since. And Greg, we were talking before the game, not only good control and a good changeup, but emphatically pitching inside with great effect.
And his defense, Andrew McCutchen in center, Starling Marte in left, Josh Harrison in right, Gabby Sanchez, Pedro Alvarez on the corners, Neil Walker, Jody Mercer up the middle, and Russell Martin returns after what turned out to be 3 straight days off. Chris Stewart started Saturday and Sunday, yesterday's scheduled day off, so Russell Martin, talking to him before the game, said he feels good.
Well, certainly hope your catcher feels good. He is kind of the anchor when you talk an overview of a baseball team. What I'm looking forward to seeing when we talk about Jeff Locke coming inside the right-hand batters, what he does in the matchups against Goldschmidt. That'll be a fun thing to watch tonight.
We're ready to go now. The first batter of the ball game, Ender Inciarte. The left-handed hitter takes inside for ball 1. 88 degrees at game time. Inciarte, one of a handful of rookies now on the roster, can really run. Bunt try, bare hand, and he got him. What a play from Pedro Alvarez.
He made it look easy. It's a tough play. He made it look easy. Able to get down, get a good grip on the ball, and that's half the battle too. You go down, reach for that ball, it's not doing much, and if you don't get a good grip, you don't get a good throw.
A little bit of traffic there. Locke getting out of the way in a hurry. Perfect play by the Pirates' third baseman. Now Martin Prado hitting .268 with 3 home runs. Strike is called.
You know, you look at Jeff Locke's 1-1 record as Prado gets in with his stats for the season. Jeff Locke could have 3 more wins. There's been 3 blown saves in his early starts.
In the air to right, Harrison will have to play it on the hop. Prado has been struggling recently. That's just his 5th hit in the last 27 at bats. He has a 1-out base hit to right.
You know how you get rid of blown saves? You score enough runs where you don't need a save. So get him some runs. He deserves it. He's been pitching that well.
Now here is the big man, 6'3", 245-pound right-handed hitting Paul Goldschmidt. Runner-up to Andrew McCutchen in the MVP voting last year. 36 home runs, 125 runs batted in. Lined into right field. Didn't hit it all that hard, but enough to get it up over the head of Neil Walker, and it's 1st and 3rd. A couple of opposite field singles off Locke.
Outside part of the plate, probably wanted to get it lower than that. I always like to get it lower than that. Get the ball on the ground.
So Goldschmidt is on, moving Prado to 3rd, and it brings up veteran Miguel Montero.
Well, you always want a catcher in a double play scenario, so here we are.
47 RBIs for Montero. And a strike. 11 home runs already this season. That matches his total from last year. And there we are a year ago, where he was and where he is.
Looks like this year's gooder.
Yeah. Big swing and a foul ball.
Downstairs is good.
Should be an advantage for Locke, as Montero hits just 152 against left-handed pitching. You have to execute. No guarantees. Just let Goldschmidt know. Doug Eddings is calling the balls and strikes, with Marvin Hudson at first, DJ Rayburn the second base umpire, and Jim Joyce is the crew chief at third base.
See where Russell sets up now to try to get him to swing at something outside of the strike zone. 0-2. Back inside. Close,
almost,
but no cigar.
Doesn't stick.
Nope, not every time.
Still 0-2. Change up downstairs.
Oh, there it is. The Jeff Locke changeup. Trademark it.
Big strikeout for Jeff Locke.
Key is the arm speed. Same arm speed as the fastball. See the swing way out in front. And a huge second out.
Now second baseman Aaron Hill comes to the plate. "32-year-old veteran. Puts the fastball in. Former first-round pick of the Toronto Blue Jays 11 years ago, Aaron Hill. Again, over to first base, Goldschmidt back standing. 7 steals, by the way, for Goldschmidt in 9 tries. Prado at third. He singled to right and moved to third on the base hit by Goldschmidt the other way. Kirk Gibson, his club, the worst record in baseball at the moment. And that just rolled to second base. Walker to first. Locke does the job, first and third. 1 out, a strikeout, and a roller. Brewers lost earlier today, so the Pirates could gain another game. They start the day 8 back of the first place club in the Central. It could cut it to 7 with a W here. Josh Harrison will be stepping in. Toyota starting lineup. Harrison will be followed by Starling Marte and Andrew McCutchen, with Gabby Sanchez hitting cleanup, then Russell Martin in the 5 spot. Jordy Mercer's hitting .356 against lefties on the year. Pedro Alvarez has dropped to 7th, and Neil Walker for the first time this season hits 8th, and then it's Jeff Locke.
They'll be working against left-hander Wade Miley of Hammond, Louisiana, 27-year-old left-hander. 2 years ago, a 16-game winner and an all-star for the Diamondbacks. Currently 3-6, and has not recorded a win since May 10th. 0-3 in his last 8 starts.
Josh Harrison back in that leadoff spot. He hasn't been up there for almost 3 weeks since Gregory Polanco arrived. 1-1. But he's been just fine there. Fine anywhere you put him in the lineup. He's hit safely in 8 of his last 9 games. One ball, 2 strikes to count on Harrison.
Gregory getting a second, getting a day off. And a little taste of some real good off-speed left-hand pitching over the weekend.
Two and two. Count stays 2 balls and 2 strikes. There's Gregory Polanco. He's played every day since his arrival, and a good time then to sit him down against a left-hander. Fouled off past Nick Leyva. An early battle here with Josh Harrison against Wade Miley. Blaze Laboon makes the play. In the air to right. Cody Ross makes the catch. 1 out. Near the bottom of the first. Wade Miley, the Pirates have seen Miley handful of times previously. He's 2-1 lifetime against the Bucks with a .210 ERA. Started twice last year against them. 6 2/3 innings in April, 2 runs, and then in August, 8 innings, 2 runs allowed.
Talking on the pregame show with Stan Savran, Miley has been much better on the road, an ERA just over 2.5. Has struggled at home, has struggled keeping the ball in the ballpark. 17 starts, 17 long balls given up. There's a good changeup.
Fastball follows that. 1-2 now.
Get the ball, get the sign, throw the ball.
Pulled foul. Stays 1-2. Marte. That day off yesterday helped as well. He was back in the lineup on Sunday. The jammed right middle finger had him out for first 3 games of the series against the Mets. Strike 3 call. Miley strikes out Marte. 2 down.
He's not afraid to come inside either. So we saw a couple of fastballs right around 90. We saw inside. We saw a changeup. We might have a battle of left-handers with similar styles to him.
Ball 1 to Andrew McCutchen, riding an 8-game hitting streak, finishing up a .343 month of June. Could have him in line to win yet another Player of the Month award. That's line foul. And the last time we will see the results in voting before Sunday night's program, where it's announced the starters are announced, Andrew McCutchen now leads all outfielders in voting. Neil Walker still trails Chase Utley at second base. Still time for you to vote for Kutch, Walker, your favorite Pirate players. You can do it online. You can also write in Josh Harrison. Well, so that's a fair ball. And on to third, and the Pirates go down 1-2-3 against Wade Miley.
The Diamondbacks, Neil Walker and the Bucks trying to get another series win. I'm Robbie. It's Mikowski. Neil Walker, obviously, we know he's all here from Pittsburgh, PA, but yesterday was a special day for him as he hosted Neil Walker's baseball camp. Over 320 kids at Seneca Valley High School yesterday. A great turnout for Neil Walker in his annual baseball camp. He pitches to the kids, talks to the kids, does a lot of good things here in the area. And I asked him why he continues to do it, what it means to him to do it. He said, look, I understand Pittsburgh's a football town first. I grew up here. But to see baseball continually grow the way it has is something I want to be a part of. And I want to be responsible for continuing to grow the game of baseball in the area. And it's always a great time. And you know Neil, Greg, one of the best guys to have in the community, obviously growing up here. But it was a cool event and a fantastic turnout for Neil yesterday.
Oh, yeah, he is. And that's great stuff, Robbie. It's good to see so many kids attended that camp. It's going to continue to grow. You know, as the Pirates continue to play good ball, win, be competitive, we see what happens over a 4-game series, for example, against the New York Mets. The Pirates set an all-time 4-game attendance record here at PNC Park. So with all due respect to those who say that this is a, quote, so-and-so town, it really it's a matter, I think, Steve, of where you are in terms of wins and losses. And Neil Walker's helping put the Pirates back on the map.
Yeah, and, you know, every major leaguer gets tugged 27 different ways during the season. Everybody wants them to come out, be a piece of their event and everything. But when you're born here, it's even times 10. So, yeah, tip of the cap to Neil and what he's done. And if you want to sell baseball, sell it to the kids.
Yeah.
Sell it to the kids. That's going to be your future generations and generations of baseball fans. That's why I would love to have the World Series played in the daytime. So the kids could be involved. It'll never happen, but I always campaign for it. It'll never happen.
Well, campaign for Neil Walker, continue to do good things.
Yep.
That's a lock. And there are a lot of kids that have caught on to Pirates baseball. Some for the first time. We see, seems like every night, a sign that says my first baseball game.
Get them to the park.
Yep.
You get them to this ballpark, they'll be back.
Broken bat, pop up, shallow center, could be trouble, and it is. Walker doing everything he possibly can. It's a broken bat single for Cody Ross.
The Diamondbacks practicing a little soft serve into the short regions of the outfield. breeze blowing in back of this ball that wasn't hit very well. Just kind of carried away from Neal. Carried away. Never could get to it. We are getting a substantial breeze to left field. You get a ball up in the air in that direction tonight, you're going to have to chase it a while. So Jeff Locke having to go to work right away, right here in the top of the second inning again. Got out of the jam in the first, challenged again.
Nick Ahmed, a rookie, playing his second big league game. Called up the other day from AAA Reno. He's hitting .324 there. Chris Owings went on the disabled list. A ball and a strike.
Is there any limit to a DL list that a team can have?
If there is, they've reached it. It's substantial. All the players that have gone on the disabled list for these Diamondbacks. And a line drive, and they'll get one. And a big one. Both runners retreat. Peralta to second and Ross to first. Tonight's Allegheny Health Network injury update. Steve, just a few.
Yeah, this is a sampling.
Last month they've lost Eric Chavez to a knee injury. Shortstop, we just talked about Chris Owings, Cliff Pennington, both out, both shortstops. Lost A.J. Pollock for a month. Mark Trumbo has been out since the end of April. Bronson Arroyo went on the DL for the first time in his career. Daniel Hudson.
Knees, thumbs, feet.
4 guys alone with Tommy John surgery on this team. Now Miley will try and sacrifice the runners.
They got a big out with a shortstop, lined the ball to Pedro. Now even if he gets him over, it's a second out. Give him a chance to wiggle away again.
Ball to strike. The scramble there by Russell Martin.
Trying the curveball a couple ways. If you're trying to really prevent a guy from bunting, you throw the ball down and away, hoping they'll dip the end of the bat and foul it away, or you can come up and in. They'll lift the bat and foul it back on occasion. So there are little patterns you can use if you're not even willing to give up the sacrifice bunt. Let's see where they go. They tried the curveball down and away, a little too far down, a little too far away.
Now not bunting.
Okay.
He has 6 hits and 31 at bats this season. That's a 194 batting average for Wade Miley. Kirk Gibson and his bench coach standing next to him, Alan Trammell. At least that pitch took the bunt off.
Got him where you want him, Jeff.
Gets it down with 2 strikes. Sacrifice 5-4. Well done by Miley to move Peralta to third and Ross to second.
So far it looks like Jeff prefers pitching from a stretch.
Yeah. The pattern early on here, not that anything has been really hit with much authority. Now in there, Inciarte to the plate. Ball 1. 23 years old from Maracaibo, Venezuela.
For Ender to end the inning.
A 6-game hitting streak going for him. 2-0. Got the rookie left-handed hitter at the top, and Ciarte, and the veteran right-handed hitter Prado on deck.
On Sunday, Volquez made a living doing this kind of thing. Getting into jams, getting out of jams.
But you don't want to make a living that way, do you?
No, it's not a lifestyle.
Two and two, a little high fastball there.
Yeah, looking at that eye level, looking downstairs, downstairs, downstairs. Every once in a while, you go back up, they get tempted, they don't get there in time.
Well, that left-on-left change worked on the veteran Montero. Well, they do it here for the rookie and Ciarte. Fastball popped up. Shortstop Mercer, and two stranded. Back-to-back innings for Jeff Luck. It's 0-0.
Pirates Baseball on Root Sports is brought to you by T-Mobile Tuesday Night Baseball.
Here at PNC Park, the Pirates hosting the Arizona Diamondbacks in the first of this three-game series. We talk about kids and pups loving Pirates baseball. It's a pup night.
There's never any fights up there. I mean, the dogs seem quite well behaved.
How about that wind up there, Steve? See if Gabby Sanchez can test it. It's on the top rung of the rotunda there. Sanchez hitting .250. 5 home runs on the year. Last 4 starts hitting at a .313 clip.
I wonder if Wade Miley spends any time with Doug Graybeck. I don't know if he lives in the Woodland. He graduated from Woodlands High School. That's where Doug lives.
Well, Graybeck is in the minor league system of the D-backs, isn't he? Wasn't he hired there a few years ago? I believe. All fouled off. If I'm not mistaken, our buddy Mike Berger, when he was in the system, convinced Doug Graybeck, yeah, he's a pitching coach in their short season A-ball in Oregon. Doug Graybeck.
Saw Mr. Berger in the hallway today. He's in the building.
Now working with the Marlins.
Great Pirate
Pittsburgh zone. Yep.
Great Pirate family. Jack, Dad, PR director, Nell, Mom.
Bouncing ball to deep third. Prado on the first to take care of Gabby Sanchez. Well, we want to see how you root for your Buccos. Our AT&T fan photo of the day. We'll show it later on during our telecast, and you can submit your picture via Twitter. Use the hashtag BucsFanPhoto. Maybe you've got your pet nearby. Got some pirate garb on. Maybe you're celebrating Canada Day, although we talked to Russell Martin about it, and he really doesn't know much about Canada Day. So I know they celebrated. In fact, a couple people on the way to the ballpark, into the clubhouse, passing along the way, said Happy Canada Day. I'd completely forgotten.
If you want a full dose, just turn Jeopardy on tonight.
That's right.
Alex Trebek.
No, I'm sorry. Sorry,
that was Smith. You said Smythe.
Oh, no, sorry. 1 ball, 2 strikes. And as he said, Summers, anyway, I've been in professional baseball so long. I haven't been in Canada on Canada Day since I was a little kid. But celebrating Canada Day in Toronto, the Maple Leafs, also known as the Toronto Blue Jays, beat the Milwaukee Brewers 4-1.
Let's go Bucks.
All right,
here we go.
4th of July weekend coming up. Tough loss today in the World Cup.
What happened? I was getting ready for the game. I didn't see.
Zach, our stage manager, was glued to it up until game time, and he was reporting to us that it was.
Where's that? Oh, there he is.
An overtime loss, I believe. Is that right, Zach?
What was the final? Is that 2-1?
2-1 the final. 2-1 the final. But he was talking about how, he really is a soccer aficionado. He said that they are going to be built up for 4 years from now in not overtime, extra time, he told us. But in 4 years, they are going to dominate.
Think they'll draft well?
There he is.
It'll be a good draft.
Not happy. A little bummed.
Yep. Rooting for the USA and the Penguins.
And the Buccos.
Yep. He's got it all here.
Two and one. As Steve said, Miley from Hammond, Louisiana, first-round pick, supplemental pick back in 2008. 2-2. Wiley was drafted out of Southeastern Louisiana University. Same school that produced other pitchers, Kirk Bollinger, remember him?
Nope.
Expos and Red Sox.
Now I do.
Padres, Astros, yep. Jeff Williams and the Dodgers. Line foul, fair ball. And then going over into foul territory after grabbing the line drive. Martin Prado takes care of that. 6 up, 6 down. 0-0.
Pirates baseball on Root Sports is brought to you by 5 Hour Energy. 5 Hour Energy helps recognize those who, despite their own needs, put others first. By the Chevy Equinox and your Western PA Chevy dealers. And by Day Automotive. We're going to make your day. Let's go, Bucks!
0-0 onto the third here. PNC Park, the 2-3-4 men in the order. Prado, Goldschmidt, Montero facing Jeff Locke. Ball one. Prado one out single in the first.
Martin Prado also going to high school at the Woodlands in Houston.
Apparently every player on the Diamondbacks roster.
Not that many guys from Louisiana drive over there every day to the Woodlands.
No.
Attend high school.
Prado actually originally from Maracay, Venezuela, lives in Orlando.
There's the changeup again.
Popped him up. Right field, Harrison. One out. Check out our Day Automotive This Day in Pirates history. It was on this day in 1972. The Pirates beat the Cubs 4-3. Some late heroics from Roberto Clemente. Tied the game at 1 with a solo homer off Fergie Jenkins in the 7th. And then in the 9th, Bucks down 3-2. Hit a 2-run homer. Put the Bucks ahead for good. Billy Williams was 2 for 4. Drove in 3 Chicago runs.
That must have been pitching again.
Here's Paul Goldschmidt. The great moments in Pirates history. So many of them involving Roberto Clemente, of course.
Had a chance to stop over at the Clemente Museum this afternoon. Helped Dwayne Reeder conduct a tour. It is a great stop. A group from Ohio coming in. Never gets old.
Roberto Clemente jerseys, spot them everywhere. And a one-out walk to Paul Goldschmidt, who I think, Steve, he attended high school at the Woodlands, did he not?
No, I think it was Miley. In fact, he was miles away. Yes, I got it wrong. Looking at the Miley bio down the Woodlands.
Now you're talking about Goldschmidt, obviously. 8th round pick in 2009. Here's Miguel Montero, struck out in the first.
Jeff Locke continues to work out of the stretch. Anything happening as he looks down to his third base coach?
It's Glenn Sherlock down there. Dave McKay is the first base coach. Bounce toward first. Gabby Sanchez going to throw to second. A high throw and an out call there. Well, the second base umpire, DJ Rayburn, saw something that indicated Mercer hit the bag either before Goldschmidt hit it or whether Goldschmidt got there late.
This was scary because he had to go way up in the air and he comes down in time. Does he? I thought I saw Kirk Gibson out there on that one.
Wow, I'm really surprised they didn't challenge that one. Aren't you?
I thought so before we saw the replay. He just went up so high. It looked kind of funky, and then replays showed that it was. Doesn't matter now.
Maybe it's his knee. Okay, he's right. It was the knee rather than the foot. If he had his foot straight out, he's safe.
I was still wondering about the hand, but I guess they saw enough with the knee. Yep. Once again, there's a right hand going in, but maybe the knee goes by.
See, his foot's on the back. Mercer's foot.
Yeah.
It's a great call by DJ Rayburn.
Got it.
Great call. Grounded to Alvarez. Tough hop. Going to try to stay with it and almost got him. He did get him at second. Now we might have a challenge. Here comes Kirk Gibson.
There's only so much you can take.
Well, that's close too. Looks like Montero's almost going into his pop-up slide before he arrives. He is out. What a play by Alvarez and Walker to get the out at second base. Wow. To be safe at first glance. Pedro Alvarez stays with a tough little hop there, Steve.
And then the shovel.
Oh, a heck of a play to stay with it. So a couple of slides, Steve. Goldschmidt and Montero. It looks like if Goldschmidt slides right into the bag.
Yeah, instead of sliding.
Slide to the side.
Yep. It was a drive-by. So Jeff Locke's finding a way to put up some bizarre zeros.
Well, how about, we don't give these umpires, I'm sure, enough credit. But DJ Rayburn was right on those two bang plays at second. Well done, DJ Rayburn.
And I'm still surprised they didn't look at both of them. But that points out, how much do we need this stuff? Umpires are that good.
Of course, Jim Joyce, one of the reasons we are where we are now is because of that moment Jim Joyce had with Armando Galarraga a couple years ago in Detroit. That perfect game with 2 outs. Close play at first base. Galarraga covered. And a ground ball into the shift. Easy play. Free Shirt Friday, Buccos Phillies, 5:05. First 25,000 fans get a Pirates t-shirt thanks to AAA Auto Insurance. Plus, there's a block party on Federal Street before the game featuring local live music and alumni appearances by Bob Robertson. For tickets, go to pirates.com/Free Shirt Friday.
Remember that perfect game? You and I wound up talking to Jim Price, the Tigers broadcaster, after that, and telling us how classy it was handled. It was wrong, but they did as much as they could.
Well, he handled himself in such a class manner. I mean, he broke down, said, I cost this guy a chance at history. I blew the call. And then Jim Leland, the manager of the Tigers, that nice touch where he had the next day Galarraga come out with the lineup card. Jim Joyce was then the home plate umpire the following afternoon. Walker with a fly ball to right. And perfect so far for Wade Miley. Jeff Locke 1 out of 10 at the plate.
I talk about Miley being perfect. His last 5 games totaling 30 innings. He's given up 18 earned runs, not counting tonight. It's an inflated ERA, but he is getting it done in brisk fashion.
2 quick strikes on Jeff Locke. Weekly hit to short. Ahmed takes care of Jeff Locke. 10 pitches. 9 up, 9 down for Wade Miley.
Celebrity here is his guest at batting practice today. It was Bret Michaels, former lead singer of the metal band Poison, who's become a reality star with his show Rock of Love. Kutch giving him some tips before Michaels headed into the cage and took a couple swings. Michaels is from Butler, PA, and will be performing at the Big Butler Fair tomorrow on what they are renaming Bret Michaels Day. So, Steve, fire up the iPod, get yourself fired up a little bit. Listen to all those Bret Michaels songs if you make your way out there. I'm sure you have quite an extensive list of Poison songs. But I will say this, Bret Michaels, very friendly, very cordial, very generous to everybody he met today. It's cool to have a nice, famous Pittsburgher back in the house at BP today, Greg.
I'm a big fan.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Here's David Peralta. They've asked Steve, what's it like working with Greg? He says, every rose has its thorn. That's what you've said many times, haven't you, Steve?
Yes, I have. Yes. Let's see what Jeff Locke has up his sleeve for the top of the fourth. No score. different ways to get there. Fourth inning.
What a story David Peralta is. A handful of years ago, he was a minor league pitcher for the Cardinals. Had several shoulder surgeries, including one to improve and repair a torn labrum. Finally, they released him about 5 years ago. He went back to his home and played summer ball in Venezuela. He was convinced to go back and play ball in the States, but he played for some independent league teams. Rio Grande Valley White Wings in 2011. The following year, the Wichita Wingnuts in 2012. And last year was playing for the Amarillo Sox for former Pirate Mark Lee. The general manager of that club. Mark Lee was a Pirates pitcher briefly in 1980 and 81. He was hitting .352 last summer with an OPS of .986. They signed him to a minor league contract, playing high A ball last year, and here he is in the big leagues. David Peralta. He singled his first time up, and he lines this ball down the right field line. Harrison, a nice job to cut it off and hold Peralta to a single.
Isn't there a famous statesman that said, "Never quit"? Never quit. Yep. Peralta doesn't.
From minor league pitcher in the Cardinals organization to big leaguer, 300 hitter early on in his major league career with the Diamondbacks.
Hitting a pretty good pitch there, too. And here goes Jeff again, working from the stretch.
David Peralta has stolen a couple. Cody Ross, broken bat single to center field in the second. Lined and off of Alvarez's glove. Still a chance at second. And thanks to the nice pick by Walker, they get the out at second.
It's the Alvarez to Walker show. 5-4 with a little stuff on it. Maybe 5-4. There's the 5. And then 5. There. Oh, speed it up.
What a nice pick, yeah.
They're finding ways. It's not pretty. They're finding ways.
Ahmed lined out to Alvarez. Ball one. Peralta singles to right. Ross lines one off of Alvarez's glove. Alvarez still able to scramble and throw to second for the out. Really saves an error there. Gets the out at second. And that's hit in the air to shallow center. Left center field, McCutchen. 2 outs in the fourth. Block faces his mound opponent, Wade Miley.
And that's always a good thing. I don't care how good a hitter or pitcher is. I'd rather face them.
Strike one. The home run first in the big leagues last year against the Giants. One and one. Tapper, Locke, on to first. Another man left.
Pirates Baseball on Root Sports is brought to you by Barrel Automotive. We're driven to be better. And by Levin Furniture, proudly featuring solid wood American-made Amish furniture. For furniture that lasts, shop Levin. Let's go Bucks!
Can you beat the best? Join millions of players now on the only official Home Run Derby mobile game from MLB.com. Square off against your friends from around the world live in multiplayer derby mode and climb to the top of the leaderboards. Download today for free on the Apple App Store and Google Play.
Got a prediction, Greg?
Yep.
First hit off Maya is going to be a home run to left field. Just don't know who's going to do it.
Oh, that is strong. That is strong.
Yeah.
And that will be replayed after the home run is hit.
He's
to
thinking
confirm your prediction. Yeah.
He's thinking the same thing.
Strike on Harrison. 2-2. Harrison, of course, was the leadoff man for quite a while and the right fielder before the arrival of Polanco and before Neil Walker was placed on the disabled list. .349 on base percentage from the leadoff spot.
Miley has walked 34, so he's had some control issues.
Bouncer, shortstop, up with it. Ahmed throws out Harrison. Fifth ground ball out.
Beat goes on.
Looking good, huh, Steve?
It is. It is. Tasty.
That's your favorite, the Shepherd, right?
I love German Shepherds, yeah. Had two of them.
Oh, look at Husky. Wow. Cool.
All shapes and sizes.
Strike one on Marte. Oh, and 2. One and 2 on Marte. Charlie Morton and Jeff Locke. Morton starts tomorrow night against Chase Anderson. Nice play at third. Prado.
Top-notch play. Marte crossing first base, looking back. So how did that happen? He left the batter's box thinking he had a clean single. Got flagged down. What's that all about?
Man,
what a play.
fly ball to pretty deep center field. Back toward the wall and caught. Inciarte stayed with it and makes a fine catch in dead center field. Miley still perfect. that ball to dead center field, and Inciarte all the way back.
I thought there was enough wind to help this, and it had enough height to catch enough of the wind. Didn't quit on it.
Always the great look from the Allegheny Health Network Supermo. Ender Inciarte.
But 2 plays to keep the perfecta going. Play at third base, play at center field.
Inciarte tried to bunt for a hit in the first. Pedro Alvarez made a nice play on him, and the last time he popped up to shortstop Jordy Mercer. Bluffed, squaring, and takes a strike. Toward left, Marte. First out. See if Locke can have a clean inning. The Diamondbacks have left 6 men on already. Steve mentioned earlier about the Mets stranding all those runners on Sunday, and Volquez having to do all that work from the stretch. Mets left 11 in the 5-2 Pirate victory.
A lot of zeros up for a couple of pretty good hitting teams. The Pirates, I think, coming into the game ranked 4th in the National League team batting average, and the Diamondbacks right behind them in 5th place.
Two 2-0 on Prado. And 2-2.
You go back to that subject of the lock changeup. Ray Searage was talking after Jeff's first start against San Francisco, where he gave up some offense early, but then Ray was saying that Russell Martin found the changeup and just rode it hard.
Oh, from his knees, throw to first, and he's got him.
Pedro, leather.
Spectacular play. Both ends, Alvarez and Gabby Sanchez.
He's down on the ground, and he's not going to get up.
A little bit of trouble finding the handle initially.
That looks good, and this pick looks very good. Good stuff. They each get a circle.
Well, hit very hard. Sanchez, like a lot of first basemen, acting as though the throw wasn't going to come, and then a last minute bang. It's there. Try and lull that hitter into thinking he's got more time.
And that has to be a very quick decoy, but then he's got to drop the decoy and get ready for anything. And he did. Did it well.
There's some fine defensive plays here halfway through this ball game on both sides. Goldschmidt and Pedro Alvarez shared the home run lead in the National League last year, and Alvarez won't be able to cut that one off.
It's hit a little bit too hard.
Goldschmidt 2 for 2 plus a walk.
We'll probably bump him up to that 300 mark. Just out of the reach of Pedro.
No ground single to left for Goldschmidt. And now Miguel Montero. There goes Goldschmidt. They picked him off. The throw. Looks like it skipped off Goldschmidt, perhaps, or just a flyer. Because Mercer didn't seem to make any kind of attempt.
Yeah, that was strange heading to second base. This could have been a deflection of the ball off the helmet. Off the back? Something.
Nothing. I think he just went over
threw it on the
right
wrong
shoulder.
side of him. Yeah. The wrong side.
Mercer blinded by Goldschmidt.
Pick him up, Jeff.
Oh, and 1 on Montero.
No score, but it hasn't been dull.
No.
A lot of stuff going on.
And a strike, 0-2. Locke has been especially good since that start Steve mentioned against the Giants May the 5th. He went back down to the minors, came back up, and he's been in the rotation since June the 8th when he went 7 strong against Milwaukee. Then down to Miami, pitched 8 strong, couple of runs against the Marlins. Then versus the Reds, he went 6. There's a shot into right field. Goldschmidt will be waved. Here comes the throw from Harrison, and he is safe. Russell Martin looking toward the dugout. Martin kind of kicked with his leg as if he maybe got the foot of Goldschmidt. We'll see. Harrison almost. Or perhaps did nail Goldschmidt. We'll see.
It's tough for a home plate umpire because the player is between him, the umpire, and the tag. The tag applied on the back going by.
It's 1-0, very close.
So you pick a guy off and you don't pick him off.
Yep. He had the out at second. Montero, the base hit RBI, and going to second on the throw.
Jeff would probably like to have that pitch back. 0-2 delivery. Base hit to right field.
Gabby Sanchez, outstanding defensive first baseman. We've already seen him with a couple of picks tonight, but his throw to try and get Goldschmidt sailed past Jordy Mercer, allowed Goldschmidt to reach, and Montero makes it hurt. And a little pop-up, that's trouble. And that will make it a 2-0 Arizona lead.
This is like slow torture. You don't get the pickoff, and now you just dump a ball over the head of the first baseman all of a sudden. For 2 outs, 2 quick runs. Just a little slicer over the head of Sanchez.
Goldschmidt single, a stolen base, an RBI single by Montero. He went to second on the throw, and Aaron Hill will pop up into shallow right. It's 2-0 Arizona. And now David Peralta, who's 2 for 2. 8 hits for Arizona. And another runner takes off and would have had the easy steal, but Peralta bounces to Walker for the final out. Miley still perfect. It's 2-0 Arizona. The guys debate which of their teammates looks and acts most like comedian Jim Carrey. Andrew McCutchen slugs his way up the Buccos' all-time home run list, and much, much more. Inside Pirates Baseball, presented by Allegheny Health Network, tonight after postgame on Root Sports. The 2-0 Arizona, and Wade Miley has been perfect. 12 up, 12 down as he goes after Gabby Sanchez. Sanchez bounced out to third baseman Martin Prado his first time up. Big swing, and it's 1-1. "14 starts decided by 2 runs or less for Wade Miley. That leads the majors. 2 runs night right now early. Down the line, but foul. All right.
So apparently there was not an error charged on that throw by Sanchez.
Stolen base. And no error here. Nice. Outstanding. Strike 3 called. Third K for Miley.
Making it look pretty easy.
A swing and a miss. Fastball from Miley.
If he gets a couple more outs, everybody around the game of baseball starts watching. They're looking, they're paying attention. Not watching yet, but aware.
Two and one. Pirates are 5-6 against left-handed starters this season. They've still seen the fewest left-handed starters in the league. But Miley is their 4th in the last 10 games.
There you see the evidence. 16 wins for Miley 2 years ago, 10-10 last year for Arizona.
2 years ago, he finished second to Bryce Harper in Rookie of the Year voting. 3-2.
Yeah, Rookie of the Year. You are a rookie and you win 16 games. You sure should get a bunch of votes. A bunch. Big bunch.
Wow. Strike three call. Second time he's gotten Martin swinging in the second here, looking back-to-back third strike calls.
Take a look at the grid. It's like a perfecta.
Jordy Mercer lined out to Prado in the second. Miley off the hill in a hurry. He throws and past Goldschmidt. Mercer will head to second and he will be there. And they're going to call that an error on the pitcher?
On the throw, base hit.
Single E1. Which is the right call.
It's going to be tough.
First hit of the game, first base runner. A good throw does get Mercer, but that's still awfully difficult play by Miley. And now for the first time, he's in the stretch.
Sure would like to answer with a quick point. Up on the board.
One swing could make it 2 points.
Yep, could take it away from that soccer score.
So that's taken care of. Alvarez hit into the shift his last time. The shortstop over on the other side. 1-2. He has hit safely in 9 of his last 15 plate appearances. Hitting close to .390 over his previous 6 games. Miley has given up 17 home runs. Strikes out Alvarez. Strikes out the side. 5 Ks. 2-0 D-backs. Time for a T-Mobile game changer. Pedro Alvarez, a couple of nice plays early on. Fun try by Enciarte. opening the ball game. Then stays with his tough hop off his shoulder and gets the out at second. And this one, the best of the bunch. Some help on the other end. T-Mobile game changer. But right now the story is Wade Miley. Jeff Locke had given up some hits the first 4 innings, but the Diamondbacks had been unable to break through until the 5th with 2 outs. 3 straight singles, produced 2 runs. Now Cody Ross, he's 1 for 2.
And now they're earned runs because they didn't charge an error on that throw from Gabby Sanchez. I mean, I don't get it. Maybe I'm missing something. If he throws the ball to Mercer, he's out. There's plenty of time.
Yeah, I thought for a minute there could be a caught stealing E3. In fact, I initially put that in there, caught stealing E3, because a good throw, he's out.
Yeah.
And I wonder if that might change. Sanchez would certainly tell you that he should have had Goldschmidt.
Ouch, on the meat hand, on the throwing hand. It's never good. Not much protection on the hand.
Cody Ross down on strikes.
It's the second for Jeff. Once again, pulling the string off speed.
Nick Ahmed has lined out and flied out. And bounce to Alvarez.
This is going to be easier.
Should be. Little footwork there for Gabby Sanchez, and handles it routinely. Get to the game early every Friday and Saturday home game this season for a block party on Federal Street, featuring food and drink specials, music, and alumni appearances, including Kent Jacoby this Saturday. Start the party early with block parties on Federal Street. For tickets, go to Pirates.com. The Phillies in 4th of July weekend.
Or as you call them, the Phillies.
The Phillies, the Philadelphia Phillies. And how about that matchup on Sunday? Oh.
The master and the apprentice, as
Yes.
we used to say.
Yep.
A.J. Burnett against Jeff Locke.
Batman and Robin. A.J. Burnett returns to Pittsburgh and pitches Sunday against his pupil, Jeff Locke. They still stay in touch on a regular basis. Oh, Miley just
That was
hangs in there.
a clunk.
Yep. That's exactly what it was, a clunker.
Sometimes you see those pitchers swinging. It's amazing how the bat jumps off the ball.
Walker in, and short hop, and throws to first, and 1-2-3 for Jeff Locke, moving right along. Bottom of the 6th already, 2-0 D-backs.
He was asked by Marty, what pitcher taught you the most so far in your career?
Roy Halladay, just because he was a bulldog out there, you know, was always trying to get ahead in the count and went after guys.
Well, Greg and Steve, I'd say that's one heck of a pitcher to learn from. Roy Halladay, a Hall of Famer, one of the best ever to grace a mound in Major League Baseball. Well, I mean, not a bad guy, right, Steve?
Absolutely, yeah. Hit your wagon to that kind of information.
Former Philly, Vance Worley.
No hitter.
Road trip. They've been to Baltimore. They've been to Chicago. They've been to Philadelphia. Or, I'm assuming. And now they're in Pittsburgh.
Welcome.
Neil Walker. Takes a strike. Walker hitting in the 8th spot of the batting order for the first time this season. The 6th time in his career he's hit this low. Hitting better this season, of course, against lefties. And toward left center field. And a nice play by Peralta. Line drive out in left center. Peralta stayed with it. 1 up, 1 down in the bottom of the 6th.
I don't know if he's going to be required to replace a divot or not, but he kind of dug in there. Feet underneath him. Got the big leather around it.
Jeff Locke takes a strike. Miley has gone to work. Strike after strike, doing it quickly.
Well, you know, when you're in that kind of groove, there's nothing to wait around for. You're feeling right. You know what you're trying to do. What you're trying to do, you're doing. So just get after it. I think in this kind of situation, the more you wait around, get tentative, might lose that edge, and he hasn't lost it.
There's what, 6 Ks now for Miley. The 1 hit was the infield single by Mercer. Mercer also had a hard hit line out to third. Starling Marte was robbed of a hit by Martin Prado, the third baseman, in the 4th inning, and McCutchen sent Inciarte back to the wall back in the 4th. Quite a bounce back start for Wade Miley so far. 2 outs into the 6th inning.
You say his last win was May 10th?
His last time out against Cleveland, he went 4. Boy. Harrison lines out to second. Great shots from the Allegheny Health Network Super Mode to the sounds of Fits and the Tantrums. They'll be performing at Stage AE Saturday night. Meanwhile, performing on the field here, Wade Miley allowing 1 hit, blanking the Pirates, and Jeff Locke 2 runs in the 5th. Set down the side in order in the 6th inning. And back to the top. And Ender Inciarte bounces this ball foul. Line right at Walker. Well, we've got some happy birthday wishes to pass along. We got to do this quickly.
That's right.
Right?
Let's get to while we have a moment.
Yeah, no question. Caden Long is 4 years old today. Got that note from Terry Long, his wife Reagan. And Gertrude Duke, 101 years old today. Happy birthday, Gertrude. Longtime Pirates fan. And the best fan of them all, Steve. 90 today. Marcella Brown, Mom.
Hey,
how about that?
Congratulations.
Yep.
That is
happy birthday, Mom.
Yep. Happy birthday. The best handicapper of the Final Four tournament, March Madness, that there could ever be.
Martin Prado. On 1 strike. Pitch count for Jeff Locke.
He hasn't been quite as efficient, but any way you look at it, those 2 runs, however you feel about it, are somewhat tainted because they did have the pickoff. Caught stealing, whatever you want to call it these days.
Two and one has not fallen behind many hitters. Yep, it's a pup night.
Bulldog Drummond, whatever breed he is.
In the air to right center, McCutchen. 2 outs. Check out our AT&T fan photo and keep those coming in on Twitter using the hashtag BucksFanPhoto. What do we have tonight? Probably from Pup Night. Yep.
Oh yeah.
Nice. That's Marisol. Pup couldn't make it here tonight, but thank you for that photo from home. Strike on Goldschmidt. Two of the 8 hits from Goldschmidt.
Back inside. You know, if you're not intimidated enough to stay away from pitching inside to Goldschmidt, you're not intimidated by anybody. You're willing to go inside on him.
In the air to center field again, McCutchen. He's got it. 10 pitches. And we're already to the 7th inning stretch. 1, 2, 3, and out. In fact, now 7 straight retired by Jeff Locke. He is involved in quite in the bottom of the 7th inning. They'll have their 2, 3, and 4 hitters due up.
Watching at home on Root Sports as we sing "Take Me Out to the Ball Game."
Get an all-access view into the life of Starling Marte. Travel back to his home country, the Dominican Republic.
They're to be really congratulated and admired for what they come out of.
Yep. Marte tries to bunt for a hit. Foul ball. Trying to get something started here against Miley.
My goodness. One base runner.
Struck out looking in the first and robbed of a hit by Prado his last time up.
And he's not been overpowering. He's in that 90-91 range. Very effective off-speed pitch, good changeup. Hitting spots and working fast.
Wow.
Had it 92 miles an hour and had him way in back of it.
Now McCutchen. Pitching lines for Miley. The one hit. 8 hits for Locke. He's pitched extremely well, but so far he's been on the wrong side because of what Wade Miley has done. Came in hitting .314, 4th in the league, still second in on-base percentage, tied for 5th in slugging. 48 RBIs, tied for 7th most in the league. Talked about that .343 batting average in June. Only 2 other Pirates had better months the last 40 years. Ryan Giles and Barry Bonds, the only Pirates to have higher batting averages in any one month the last 40 years. Wow. Struck him out looking, and McCutchen. You rarely see that. Talking to the home plate umpire Doug Eddings. 8 Ks for Miley.
You won't get that call all the time, but he got it there. Meanwhile, Miley's not missing a beat.
No.
Get the ball, throw it.
Throwing first pitch strikes about 70% of the time. It's like he can't wait to get the ball and throw another pitch. Season high strikeout total 11. May 27th against the Padres. And he's out in front of another Pirate. 1-2.
Had 2 strikeouts through the first 4 innings, and then he's gotten after it.
Six of the last 8 outs recorded via the strikeout.
little theory: when a guy's working along like this, you don't want to get caught up in his rhythm. Sometimes you'll try to step out and disrupt him, like Gary's stepping out now. Sometimes that works and sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes you're thinking more about that than what you should be thinking about with your approach to hitting. But, anytime, just try something to slow him down.
Whew. Wade Miley putting on a clinic. 9 strikeouts. 2-0 D-backs.
By the authority of the Pittsburgh Pirates and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Pittsburgh Pirates.
Nissan Road ahead tomorrow night. Charlie Morton for the Pirates. Chase Anderson for the Diamondbacks. And then Thursday it's Vance Worley against Brandon McCarthy. The rookie Chase Anderson going tomorrow against Morton. Jeremiah Randall between Morton and Worley. Talking to Kiyoshi Mimosa. And here's Miguel Montero. Well, you look back at the one play, the Gabby Sanchez throw.
Yep.
Hate to harp on it, but guarantee he's not forgotten about it. The difference in the game is that throw to second would have been and should have been the third out of the 5th inning. Locke had picked off Goldschmidt.
Do you think should Miley run the table, they would revisit the play at first?
I was wondering that. You remember CC Sabathia when he was with the Brewers here?
Yeah. Yeah.
On I believe a Sunday afternoon. Kind of a swinging bunt. Fairly similar to that play, and Andy LaRoche, I believe, is the batter who hit the ball and was credited with an infield single. Bounce foul.
Well, regardless, yet another really good start by Jeff Locke.
Oh, did he go? No. Two and two. Good block from Russell Martin.
Legit call.
fouled back. Steve, I remember that vividly because I was taken aback by the reaction of Ned Yost at the time. The Brewers were involved in a pennant race. Pirates were out of it. It was August 31st, 2008. Andy LaRoche had that swinging bunt, as it turned out to be a hit, in a 7-0 Brewers win. And after the game, he was irate about the official score. He said, "That's a joke. That wasn't even close." Whoever the scorekeeper was absolutely denied Major League Baseball a nice no-hitter right there. And he went on and on. And I thought, wow, this team's in a pennant race. Should be more concerned that Sabathia wasn't even upset about it. And on strikes goes Miguel Montero. Third K for Locke. Eighth pitch of that at bat, he gets Montero. The 100th pitch of the night. So the Pirates have a reliever loosening up.
Well, he threw a heavy percentage of those in the first 3-4 innings. A whole bunch of pitches. He's kept it together.
On a strike on Hill.
That's keeping the customer satisfied, isn't it? Mr. Gomez getting it loose.
And that's a fly ball toward Harrison. 2 outs in the top of the 8th. We talked about it. Sunday's a kids' day. Pirates Phillies. All 14 kids and younger take home an Andrew McCutcheon poster thanks to Allegheny Health Network. Come early for the #1 Cochran Family Fun Zone on Federal Street, and after the game, kids can run the bases thanks to Kennywood. For tickets, go to Pirates.com. Again, that is A.J. Burnett returning to Pittsburgh to start now against the enemy, the Phillies. Jeff Locke on the hill. Jeff Locke, who picked up his first 8-inning stint of his career, 3 starts back in Miami, will make it 2 8-inning appearances in his last 4 starts. First 2 8 innings of his career. What a job by Jeff Locke tonight, but down 2-0. And we'd like to welcome Philippi Cable TV viewers in Philippi, West Virginia. Thanks for watching and rooting on your Pittsburgh Pirates. All of us at Root Sports and the Pirates appreciate your support. Let's go Bucks. And already at the bottom of the 8th inning, the Diamondbacks leading 2-0, and Russell Martin in the batter's box, and you know Wade Miley is ready to go. And up the middle, and a base hit to start things here.
Right.
The bottom of the 8th inning. Jeff Locke had just gotten back to the dugout and was getting the high fives.
Well deserved.
The Pirates could get him off the hook. Now Brad Ziegler is the setup man for these Diamondbacks. He's already started throwing in the bullpen. 95 pitches thrown now by Miley. Jeff Locke's line. 3 strikeouts, 1 walk, scattered 8 hits. 2 runs came in the 5th. $21,426 on hand tonight. First of 3 with Arizona. Their only trip in here, the Diamondbacks. Mercer had the infield hit in the 5th, lined out in the 2nd.
Still the opportunity. You run into one toward left field. It's still a healthy breeze going in that direction.
It's 0-2, and there's the breeze Steve mentioned. Miley at the 97 pitch mark. And into shallow right field. And oh, what a catch made in right field by Cody Ross. Another fine defensive play. As Manny Parra went out there defensively at the bottom of the 8th inning. Manny Parra came on as a switch.
And that ball is starting to get pushed down by the breeze going across.
Manny Parra. Make that Gerardo. Gerardo Parra. Just come on defensively. Now Pedro Alvarez.
Did not need a spectacular catch here in the bottom of the 8th inning at the leadoff base hit. Did not need that.
One and one on Alvarez. Just announced in the press box that Gerardo Parra is indeed playing right field with 1 away. And now it is 2-1 on Alvarez. What a play. Gerardo Parra. For a while, as if that ball was going to drop. Oh, fighting that off. Now 2-2.
I'm trying to get the hands in time. There's just simply not a lot of time. Don't have much time coming in. That ball running in on you.
4 of the 17 homers he's given up off of lefties. And strike 3 call. 10 punch outs for Miley. 1 off his season high.
And it looked, the naked eye was right on the corner, right on that edge, but maybe a little bit off.
He's getting some calls now, yeah.
Pedro could have gotten that call.
No. Off the plate, Miley got the call. And now Neil Walker.
Jim, just one of those pitchers having one of those nights where he just keeps coming after you with quality pitches.
One and two. Delayed steal attempt by Russell Martin, but they're going to get him. Martin caught stealing to end the bottom of the 8th. It's worked a couple times this season, but does not work here. Just a reminder, as you enjoy a cold one, to look forward to Miller Time later in tonight's game, brought to you by Miller Lite. The Wade Miley story. After Jeff Locke went 8, giving up the 2 runs. Pirates got a leadoff hit from Russell Martin. And then with 2 outs, Martin tried to delay steal, and he was caught stealing. And happy birthday. Ernesto Frieri. His second Pirate appearance since being traded the other day from the Angels for Jason Grilli.
The overall numbers.
Jason Grilli had another tough loss on Sunday. He came on in a tie game against the Royals and struck out the first batter he faced, then hit a man. Then there's a ground ball to the shortstop. And the shortstop of the Angels threw to Howie Kendrick. And Kendrick dropped the ball. An error. Next batter, a walk-off hit. Gerardo Parra, his first at-bat. Came on defensively and made an outstanding tumbling catch. Nice grab in the stands.
Good defensive plays all over the place.
Yeah. Check out those out-of-town scores. That is A.J. Burnett pitching against the Marlins. Pirates began the day 8 back of the Brewers. They lost this afternoon to Toronto 4-1. Cardinals are 6.5 back in the Central. Cardinals and Giants meet in San Francisco later. I imagine the home plate umpire Doug Eddings hears it from the crowd and maybe from the Pirates bench. Anything close that Miley got. Russell Martin and the Pirates hoping that in this case for ARI would get. Two and two. It's fouled past Dave McKay. Stays 2-2 on Gerardo Parra. Parra hitting .255 on the year. Now full count. ARI made his Bucco debut on Saturday afternoon. Looks like Miley's going to, at least he has a bat in his hand, is Kirk Gibson thinking about maybe letting him go the distance.
He's got Addison Reed with his 19 saves available.
And into center field. A 3-2 pitch, a fastball. Parra singles to center to start the ninth.
Kind of glad we haven't seen Parra all night. It's a good catch, base hit. Supposed to get outs with those kind of pitches.
Ahmed. Ahmed has lined to third, flied to center field, and bounced to third. Playing in his second big league game. And bounces this one just outside of third base.
I just wonder if they'd send Cody Ross here. Really not much to lose. They're already up 2-0. Maybe get
that's Parra.
Yep, that is Parra. Why can't we remember him?
Kirk Gibson had him in there for defensive purposes, and it paid off.
Where was on first base?
Close play. Oh, off the body. Deflects into the glove. Another throw over. Parra with 5 steals and 9 tries. ARI 37 saves last year.
Familiar face of Dave McKay. It's hard to not think of him being in any other uniform but the Cardinals. First base coach.
Dave McKay, a couple years with Dale Swaim in Chicago. Pop up. Walker out. And another one that drops in. A couple tonight. Pop-ups that just beyond the reach of Neil Walker.
Another slicer just in that dead zone back at second base.
Wade Miley going to try and bunt the runners over here. And then Kirk Gibson will apparently let him at least begin the 9th inning. See if he can't complete what he has started. No complete games in his career, no shutouts. So this would be a big time milestone in Miley's career. Swinging away.
And not chopping at the ball. The Pirates want to talk over this defensive approach again. What are we dealing with here? A bunt or a swing? Had the bat out for the bunt before the swing.
A couple of strikes. Well, he was able to drop down a bunt in the 2nd inning after on a 1-strike pitch. The bunt was apparently taken off. Miley swung and missed at a pitch, but he got the bunt down perfectly in the 2nd with 2 strikes. And swinging away. Well, go figure. Anything goes here. Kirk Gibson in his 5th season as the Diamondbacks manager. One and two. Strikeout. Now, you know what you'd love here, Steve? Nothing personal, of course, regarding Kirk Gibson, but you'd love for ARI now to get the next 2 batters, and then you win the game 3-2. And he has a chance to move the runners up, get an insurance run or 2. And again, he's not the only one that has done this, but it's a pet peeve of some that your pitcher, why aren't you using him to bunt? He had a perfect bunt in his first time up.
Yeah, I agree. What are you really trying to get done here?
Yeah, you'd love to. What is the going through the mind there? You know,
could he have missed a sign?
It's always possible that the player misses the sign, but it means he would have missed it more than once.
Yeah.
Now you wonder.
Now, and then he went down in the tunnel. If he's staying around to pitch the 9th inning, I don't think he's going down in the tunnel. There's an issue there.
Yeah, you wonder. Was he checking in there? Was that Kirk Gibson? Was he saying what? With the bunt sign? a base hit into right field. So Parra will be waved home. And it's going to be out at the plate. Another perfect throw from Josh Harrison and the Martin tag.
That's the proof of the pudding. This guy is a career infielder. You're putting him wherever you need him, and he's excelling wherever you put him. Simple as that. Josh Harrison is a big league ball player.
What doesn't he do right?
Just textbook stuff.
Josh Harrison to Russell Martin, and Parra is out. Now Martin Prado. Well, now you'd really love to come back here with 2 or 3 in the bottom half of the ninth. Prado takes ball 1. The bottom half of this ninth inning, Neil Walker will be at the plate. He was there when Martin was caught stealing. And possibly Polanco. Polanco had been out on deck in the 8th. Popped them up. Gabby Sanchez will put it away. Well, Josh Harrison, he will be coming to the plate. Will he have a couple of men on to try and drive in?
Spectacular.
Riley with 10 strikeouts. He has given up 2 hits. An infield single by Jordy Mercer in the 5th. Russell Martin led off the 8th inning with a base hit.
And when he's not getting swings and misses, he's hitting the spots for call third strikes.
8 of his last 11 outs have been recorded via the strikeout.
And he has stayed out of the middle of the strike zone all night long. You know, just when you can figure a situation out, he hasn't won in almost, 2 months.
Looks like he's there for the taking, and then he has his best outing of the year.
Yeah. And then you say, well, maybe this is the guy that won 16 2 years ago as a rookie, which is indicating some pretty good presence on the mound in the first year in the big leagues. You know, you get here, you do these things on occasion, right? If you do them again, you know you're capable.
Opponents have seen that from Jeff Locke. You know, the first half he had last year, and then the miserable second half. And here he is looking like the all-star that he was in the first half of last year. Unfortunately for him, he's down to Miley 2-0, and there is a base hit to center to start the bottom of the ninth. Neil Walker, who lined out his last time, begins the ninth with a base hit to center field. And Clint Hurdle will call upon the rookie, Gregory Polanco. Does Kirk Gibson stay with Miley? And well, I guess he will certainly against the left-handed batter. But he does have Addison Reed getting ready, and here comes Mike Harkey, the pitching coach of the Arizona Diamondbacks.
All points bulletin. Everybody report to the mound.
Remember Mike Harkey, Steve?
Yep.
Longtime Chicago Cub. Time with the Rockies and
saw a lot of him.
Angels and Dodgers. Mike Harkey, former first-round pick of the Chicago Cubs back in 1987.
Out there buying some time.
Scouting report on Polanco. It's a ritual we see time and time again. When a pinch hitter comes in, the pitching coach goes out there, gives him that scouting report. Polanco, tough time of it recently against left-handed pitching.
Works him away. First pitch. We saw a lot of soft stuff in the last left-hander he saw. Back further outside. And missed.
Little flare into left field and a base hit for Gregory Polanco. First and second. And look who's coming up. And Kirk Gibson might be coming out. Pinch hit single for Polanco.
Watch the catcher setting out way outside and not getting it out there at all.
Gregory Polanco had been 0 for 16 against lefties until that hit. His first hit off a lefty since June 13th in Miami, and he delivers the knockout punch. Wade Miley exits, leading 2-0. And Addison Reed will be coming on. Bench waiting for his chance, knowing that someday this city, this team would need him. When that chance came and the spotlight shined upon him, a hero wearing black and gold was revealed. Undaunted when the forces of evil surround him, he continues his fight for good. Blessed with a boundless supply of energy and skill, he flies through the air to save the day. His speed leaves his enemies in the dust. Able to stop a speeding bullet, he can defeat his opponent with one powerful swing of his magical club. Josh Harrison, continuing to serve the city of Pittsburgh, the Pirates, and their fans for the good of baseball. Well, that was our tease from the other night. And here he is. Will he be the superhero again against Addison Reed? Will Clint Hurl ask him to drop a bunt down?
He's already halfway there with that throw from right field.
Yeah, that's right. He's kept this game within reach with that play.
The Diamondbacks trying to get together, get their defensive strategy. Reed has saved 19 games. He's given up 8 home runs. That's a lot.
19 for 22 in save situations. The D-backs thinking Harrison's going to be bunting. He's not. And he pops it up. And just out of the reach of the catcher, Montero.
That's the kind of year Josh is having.
Montero, desperate lunge.
Grabbing cables, reaching over. Overall numbers. 8 home runs given up.
Goldschmidt going over to talk to Reed again. Toward right center field. And the catch made in right center. Boy, hit that on the money. Ciarte got back quickly. 1 out.
You know, you hit that ball that well. You just hope for a gap. You know, sometimes you hit him right at him like that, but that's well enough to really cause some excitement. That's a good at bat.
Yeah. Thought he'd hit that better than he did. Marte now talking to McCutchen, getting a scouting report from the Pirates center fielder before he steps in. Wade Miley watching Addison Reed try and close this out for him. A huge gap for Marte in left center. If he shoots that gap, this game will be tied with Polanco's speed. And
it'd be fun to watch Marte run.
Yeah. Now, are the Pirates bold enough to send Polanco? Opponents are 5 for 5 against Addison Reed this season. Montero was really struggling throwing out runners initially, and a breaking ball to start him. 0-1. Just looking at the numbers, Reed does not hold runners well at all. Opponents have oftentimes stolen at will, and boy, a couple of strikes on Marte as he's gone out of the zone a couple times here.
Yeah, and what Reed does, he comes from the side a little bit, quite a bit on top of that. First move is toward third base, and that creates a little bit of anxiety with that front foot.
Center field, toward the warning track, toward the wall. Off the wall! Here comes one run! Here comes Altuve! Starling Marte! We've got a Marte! Marte headed to third! This game's tied! 90 feet away from a win! Everybody Marte with Marte!
And how good can you look after looking so bad on a couple pitches? What a nice recovery of an at-bat. After bailing out, he didn't get the breaking ball out far enough, and he gives it a ride that almost won the ball game. Wow. You get the huge extra 90 feet. Tell you what, he is so fortunate that the ball got away from the catcher. So fortunate.
Well, now
get the home run wave.
Yeah. But he also drove in the 2 runs with the ball off the wall, and now they'll walk McCutchen intentionally. This is a no-brainer. Wade Miley can't believe it.
Jeff Locke can.
Fourth lone save of the season for Addison Reed. Ike Davis out on deck to bat for Gabby Sanchez. And remember, we talked about the decision not to bunt Wade Miley and move 2 potential insurance runs into scoring position.
There's so many little story angles. Again, you go back to the throw by Josh Harrison. It's not 3-2 Arizona, it's 2-2.
So it's first and third and Ike Davis. That's for Gabby Sanchez. Now, they could walk even another. To load them up. Russell Martin has hit into a bases loaded inning-ending double play with a chance to get a W earlier this season, but looks like they will pitch to Ike Davis, also a double play candidate.
Very short in the outfield, as you would expect, obviously. Got to be able to make a throw with 1 out. Let's steal a baseball game. Let's steal a ball game away.
Almost got a piece of Ike Davis.
At 35 and 49, the Diamondbacks have been in these kind of situations this year.
21,426 have seen a great game. Broken back! Walking off! Raise the Jolly Roger and enjoy! Boy,
Call the cops. We just robbed the Diamondbacks. They stole a ball game away after being dominated for 8 innings.
boy, did they jump up off the deck, though, here in the ninth.
What
These
about
Buccos not giving up. Dominated through 8, and then Walker gets up there and signals to center. Gregory Polanco, the rookie, against Wade Miley. The base hit. Marte, after looking so awful. Down 2 strikes. The double off the wall to tie it. And after the intentional walk to McCutchen, Ike Davis. That's a great team win. And boy, it feels a lot like 2013, doesn't it?
I'll tell you, that at bat by Marte was phenomenal. You can't look that bad and then look that good, and he did. Wow, what a finish on a game that the Pirates didn't seem to be in at all with the dominance of Miley. That's what you call playing 27 outs.
The pinch hitter and one of the heroes is Ike Davis. Robbie and Smikowski down with him.
Talk about a productive night's work. Thank you for the gum, Jordy Mercer. Ike Davis, one swing, wins it all right there. Ike, what is it with this team? Wade Miley dominates for 8 innings. Somehow you come out and win in the ninth. Why does this happen with this club?
Marte has a knack for hitting a big hit, so, you know, Wade was nasty tonight, and
there it is. Knew it was coming, huh? They didn't conceal themselves very well. Andrew McCutchen, I believe Gabby Sanchez were the culprits on that. The at-bat, you're sitting for 8 innings into the ninth. You come in at bat. What's your approach, and how did you knock that into right field?
I'm just trying to get a pitch that I can hit in the air so I don't hit into a double play because I'm kind of slow. But, you know, cut her in. I just got the barrel enough to it to get it over the first baseman's head, and we get the W.
What is it about this ball club? What kind of magic does this team have in your short experience here in a Pirates uniform?
There's just no quit. I mean, any inning is our inning, and no lead is too big for us. And we got too many talented guys in here to not be able to come back.
Like in baseball, it's so hard to get so high after one win and to get down after a loss. But to do it the way you're doing it, how can this help a team mentally, emotionally?
I mean, we're pretty good right now mentally. We've been playing really good baseball the last month and a half, and just going to continue it and keep grinding every day, grinding out at bats, and try to get more wins.
Thanks, Ike.
No problem. Thanks.
How about it for Ike Davis? One swing of the bat, Rob King. Talk about productivity, huh?
Yeah, great stuff. I mean, the Pirates had absolutely nothing going all night against Wade Miley. It didn't look for one instant like a game they might win until they actually won it. Just like we promised you earlier, it's Miller time, presented by Miller Lite. Let's get right to the ninth inning. Wade Miley dominating the Pirates. They get the leadoff single from Walker, and then Gregory Polanco gets aboard. Addison Reed comes in facing Starling Marte. Looks like he maybe thought he had the home run. It's a double. Walker will score. Polanco will just be safe as he scores. The ball kicks away. That allows Marte to get the third, and then Ike Davis comes in as the pinch hitter. The single into shallow right field along the line. And just like that, the Pirates, who had been absolutely dominated by Wade Miley, come back to win by the final score of 3-2. The Pirates pushed themselves 3 games over 500 and improved to 4-1 on this 10-game homestand. So the Bucks, a dramatic victory in their final at bat. Coming up next on Pirates Postgame, presented by the Allegheny Health Network, Steve Blass will join me here in Section 103. We'll talk about this big victory, highlights, postgame reactions, and much more when we return next on Pirates Postgame.